Okay, so now we're going to do exercise 2. For each student, compute the homework average, quiz average, and exam average. So what you need to do is scroll all the way over to where it says homework average, quiz average, exam average. Okay, we're going to go into the cell the first yellow cell under homework average. Now, before in exercise 1, what we did was we found the average for each individual homework. So, what was the average for homework 5? What was the average for quiz 6? Now we're going to do the average for each student. So this is going to be a little different. And what we do is enter, let me zoom it in a little bit more, enter equals the sum, so sum, S-U-M, of all the students. All of student 0, 1, all of his scores, homework scores. So I'm going to click on homework 1 and hold and drag all the way to the last homework, so homework 27. Close parentheses. You actually notice it. Unfortunately, it doesn't send you back to where you were, but you can actually, if you look up here, it shows you that you've closed the parentheses. I'm going to actually click the arrow on the bottom here to get me back to where I was entering. So equals the sum of those things divided by the sum of all possible scores. And in this case, there are some homeworks are out of 10, some homeworks are out of 20. So what we really want to do is sum of all those possible scores. So click the top possible score, homework 1, and to the right, drag, click and hold and drag. If you go too far, it's okay, you can come back to the left. Homework 27 is that last homework. I'm going to scroll over now with the arrow button down here, down in the lower right hand corner, to see where I've been typing. Close parentheses. Now, you have to do something before you press enter. We want to make sure that this denominator stays at the top all the time under that possible points category. So to do that, we need to put a $sign in front of the 2. In front of the 2 for B, so B $2 colon AB $2. So put a $sign in front of both of these 2's and then press enter. Okay, this gives us the homework average out of a possible 1. Since we want it to be 100%, we're going to double click on that one more time, and up front, in the front, right after the equal sign, put 100%. You could put 100%. I guess I won't put the 100%, but I will do 100 times that value. And so this will now give us a percentage, and we're going to double click again that little square in the bottom right corner when you see the crosshairs. Double click that, and we're going to get the averages for all the students. Now notice it did something a little funky here. It actually went into the average equals, median equals, minimum equals. That's okay. We're just going to backtrack it so that we actually don't have values in there, because we're not looking for the averages down here. Student 40 was the last student, so that's where the numbers should end. All right. Now there are 4 decimal places here, so let's actually do a round. Okay, a rounding. So again, I'm going to double click. You can always just double click on the cell. I press escape to get out of it, or you can press enter. But double click on the cell and put round, R-O-U-N-D, open parentheses, and then at the very end put comma 2. That's the number of digits I want to round to. Enter. Again, click on the cell, double click on that bottom right left hand corner little square, and it's going to turn everything into double digits. It actually knew where to stop because we told it to stop at student 40 last time. Okay, these are all the average of the students. Just randomly select a student like student 06, for example, and double click on him. Notice that it's still B that it's looking. I'm sorry, not B. Well, it's still 2 that it's looking at. That's the second row where it's getting the denominator. It's using the possible points as the denominator. Okay, so escape that. And quizzes, we're going to do a very similar thing. Equals, so click under quizzes, equals the sum of all, scroll all the way back to the first quiz, so not all the way back to the left, but quiz 1 for student 01, and click and drag all the way over to the last quiz, which is actually a pop quiz. Scroll now over to where you were typing. I'm clicking the arrows to scroll. Close parentheses, divided by sum of the denominator, which again is going to be the possible points under the quiz. So now we're going back to quiz 1. I'm going to highlight the possible scores for quiz 1 and all the way down. Click and drag all the way down to pop quiz. If you go too far, it's okay. Just keep the mouse button clicked down and backtrack. That's your last pop quiz. Scroll over, close, do that same trick where you put the dollar sign in front of the 2. That holds the 2 there forever, so that's always the denominator. And we'll put 100 times in front. That gives us the average. Let's actually double click and do a rounding, open parentheses, at the very end, then comma 2, rounds to 2 digits, press enter, click up on the cell, and click that application button, apply all button, that little square in the lower right hand corner, double click and scroll down. You'll see, okay, we'll have to tell it, click it again, just click once, hold and drag up to remove all those others, and then we'll stop at student 40. Here are all of their quiz averages. And then finally the exam average, again, is the same thing, equals sum, click on that cell, click and drag student 01's exams, and we'll just go to exam 3, scroll back over, we'll close parentheses, divided by the sum of the total possible, which was up here, total possible under the exams, close parentheses, scroll back over, and fix the 2. So put a dollar sign in front of the 2, put a round parenthesis 100 times. Okay, we're going to round it. We're going to turn it into a percentage at the very end, comma 2, close parentheses, enter, click back, and double click on the apply all button. Scroll down just to make sure we don't go too far. We have to click and drag back so that we're only going down to student 40, and here are all the students' average exam averages. Okay, and that is exercise 2.